Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call a meeting to order and open roll call.
Goodell?
Here.
Slater?
Here.
Baumgarten?
Here.
Rusher?
Here.
Hader?
We need a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Move we approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the minutes of the February 19th, 2013 regular council meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we need a motion to approve the treasurer's monthly investment report and the February treasurer's report. Any questions?
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Then you've all got a copy of the claims in front of you. Are there no questions? Take a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Under communications, we have Derek with us this evening. We're talking about the Sumner Avenue Hill project and what to do about either widening the sidewalk or possibly taking the sidewalk out that's there and moving it down onto Lewis Street. So we've got some options available here.
As where I left off before, where we have carriage walk, sidewalk directly adjacent to curb, all the way along 4th Avenue. If we consider and put together an estimate for a barrier on 4th Avenue where there's more right-of-way, do you want to look at relocating that sidewalk to give yourself the physical 5 foot of separation? Or do you want to take that barrier idea and stay consistent all the way from 169 down around to the bridge? Is there a preference by council?
Do we need a barrier anywhere except on the hill?
I don't think so,
I don't either.
It would be detracting for one.
because you've got the lawn there, you've got everything that, you know, I mean, if
Yeah. Everything you don't have on the hill.
right.
You've also got a 37-foot roadway width up there versus, I think the big concern on Sumner is that we're down to a 25-foot road
Yeah.
with the sidewalk right on that. So we can focus the estimate based on where the road narrows and where we really start getting stuff on top of each other.
Yeah, literally from the apartments down to the
Yeah.
bridge, literally, is I think is our only main concern.
Yeah, actually, I think just where there's, yeah, from 3rd Avenue Southwest down the
Yeah,
hill,
Yeah. Right, just around
where the
corner there.
where the existing wall is now, is
Right.
what I guess I was kinda thinking anyway.
And it wouldn't hurt, it's amazing that nobody's ever gone over that edge, which I don't think ever has, but it's amazing when the ice and nobody's ever.
I've gone over it several times in my younger days.
Yeah.
Are you talking wall all the way around the curve then to the bridge?
Yeah, maybe just, I guess I was thinking that, John, or at least just maybe around the park, don't have to, just that could be an option, around the curve there or something anyway. It's only probably, 150, 200 feet from in that area.
Yep. And we can take it so far and just, at that point, we'll have a linear footage cost, so we can say, to go
So much of
this much farther, it's gonna cost
Because we'll have probably a
X dollars.
50-foot opening at the water plant.
at
roughly.
least, yeah.
And then it'd be just from the water plant around to the bridge, which isn't really that far anyway.
Yep,
so.
yep. And you may just want to take it to the end of the curve, once it straightens
Yeah.
out, you may not have the need for it, so, but we can work that back to $1 per foot.
Yep.
Do you have enough right away? Next to
On the
that?
west, yes. Yep. And I did, that will require us to relocate probably 2 of Mid-American's power poles. I did meet with them. My preliminary discussions were, we're much closer to the road than we typically are. As long as we've got the right-of-way and we're not pinched because of right-of-way, let us know, we'll move them. They are moving one pole as part of the water plant project to install a new primary feed.
Over there on the corner?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so that would be
That's
one
close
that would have needed moved, that's getting moved anyways. I did walk it with them, and the location that they are putting it in will work with a sidewalk widening like we're talking about here. So, they're gonna stay, on schedule with that, and then we'll just talk to them. If it gets to the point of action, we'll let them know right away about the other two poles, so that maybe we can piggyback those.
Are both the other poles on the hillside, are they?
There's
Or- or
two,
one
one
at the top
right
of
at
the hill and
the,
then one of the-
one right at the bottom of the wall, and then I think the other one is just, the one at the top of the hill, actually, as it follows the wall, it starts with pretty good spacing, and then they start to angle and get closer to the road as they go down the hill, so it's the north or east, two power poles that will need relocated and pulled back farther away from the road.
Is there anything else in the ground right there?
Gas is on the other side of the road. The only question I have is on fiber, and I haven't got anything on that.
Fiber's on the other side of the road.
On the other
Goes
side.
right through my property. And comes right up
I
the
know
hill.
there's a couple of handholds, manholes in there that we've got a request in from, one call for the utilities, but we haven't gotten anything back yet, so.
Okay.
All good?
Got some direction then, do we at least end to look at and stuff then, and
We'll take a look at, putting together, cost for the one option, which would be to push the wall back, widen the sidewalk, provide a 5-foot clear width, and a, physical barrier between the road and the sidewalk. Is cable, we'll put together numbers on cable and guardrail. I think cable seems to be the preferred alternate, so.
you can see through it,
But if there's a-
obtrusive or anything, that looks,
If there's a drastic cost
Or do we
difference,
even
we'll
need that?
bring them both
With a
back.
5-foot sidewalk?
well, it may not with a 5 foot, I guess. If we raised the sidewalk up, you know, right now, you know, with the matting,
Barely
we're down to maybe an inch and a half.
Mhm.
You know, we've got, if we had a 6-inch rise or something, would that be better for traffic if it
It's
wouldn't need a
basically
wall
would take
something?
6 inches off your wall. I would recommend, not knowing when or if we get to a Sumner Avenue reconstruction project, any type of physical barrier to get ourselves back to a traditional 6-inch curb would help.
Okay, that's 6 inch, okay. Because
Yep.
cars, if they bump that, at least wouldn't go over it, they would just bump against it. And
Yep, yep.
we may not, you know, we may not.
And that still allows us to plow snow, it's not gonna stop us from street maintenance. The challenge will be, with that right now, Leroy does brine the sidewalk. Putting that physical barrier there is gonna stop him from being able to brine the walk, so it'd have to be more intensive on the, something just to work out with the street guys as far as how they salt, sand, handle that sidewalk. Right now, he treats it the same as the road, hangs the trailer up there and brines it, and that's one of the tools they use to keep that, free from ice, so.
What width are you going to with the sidewalk?
5 foot?
I don't know the width on the parks, guys, but I think that might be sufficient. Well, is
They
it
have
5,
a small
that's
way.
5 foot. if
It'll be a
there's-
5-foot clear zone, so we'll take the 4-foot walk, widen it out to 6,
Okay.
and give up a foot for our physical barrier that we put in there,
Okay,
so.
so if you
we'll
don't do
probably
the
have
physical
5 and
barrier,
change.
you'd still have the, okay.
Yes, yes, it'll probably be 5.5, depending on what that barrier is. But we'll, for estimating purposes, we'll assume a 6-foot widen, which gives us a foot for the barrier and our 5-foot clear to meet the ADA requirements.
I think they're about 4 foot on the brushes.
I know, I think they use it out there now, and that, it's a 4-foot walk now. I don't know if anything hangs
Yeah.
over is my question.
Yeah.
Alright. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks, Derek.
This being the time and place for the scheduled public hearing, the proposed fiscal year 2013-2014 budget, I will open the public hearing at 5:44. Review of the proposed budget.
I'll just quickly go over what was published in the paper last week. Our projected budget this year, the total tax levy per $1,000 valuation is $16.20 approximately. I'll just look here over that. Revenues, the total revenues will be, are projected to be $8,383,809. In addition, there are about $2 million in transfers, which makes total revenues $10,391,200. $658. Our total expenditures, and I'll just go quickly down through the different categories. Public safety, $742,170. Public works, $1,309,846. Culture and recreation, $1,011,558. Community and economic development, $1,264,370. General government, $326,591. Debt service, $613,165. Capital projects, $3,730,000. That leaves a total of government activities of $8,997,700. Then the business type enterprise activities is water, sewer, solid waste, $2,654,198 for total expenditures of $11,651,898, and the same $2 million in transfers leaves a total of expenditures of $13,659,747. As I said before, the total tax levy this year is projected at $16.20. Last year's levy, or in this current year, $16.90. So it's a 70-cent decrease in the levy. How that will affect, or to give people an idea on property taxes for their home, and this is just the city's portion. A $60,000 house, the city's portion of taxes on that would be $435. For a $100,000 home, the city's portion would be about $777. And on a $150,000 home, the city tax portion would be $1,205, which is basically about the same as last year. It has to do with the rollback. The rollbacks increased this year.
Quick question, Lori.
Mhm.
I see in 11 and 12, we had a debt service of $3.97.
Mhm.
And then 12 and 13, we had a debt service of $4.86 approximately. But then in 2013-14, the 3-star, so what does that mean? We've got both levies in, or am I confused on the 3 stars?
The debt service levy, you have the,
It decreased this year, the debt service part of our levy. Is that what you?
Well, we got 1 star here, and then a 2-star on each, but then we got 3 stars. I didn't know what the 3 stars, if we came up with.
Oh, our debt service levy this year is down to $3.58.
Okay, so
Sorry.
we should have had a
Yeah.
3-star at the bottom. Okay,
Three stars off.
that's what confused me, was how we're supposed to add and what we're supposed to
Yep.
do there. Okay,
That's going down, so that's a good thing too.
okay, then. That's good. That was my question.
one thing to note, the rollback makes it essentially the same year over year as far as taxing, so as far as taxes for residential property taxes, but as far as commercial property taxes that experience no rollback, their taxes will actually decrease in this upcoming year because of the 70-cent tax levy reduction from the city. You know, I know we've talked about this several times as far as the budget, but a few things that I just want to mention on air is that, you know, we've worked really hard to build up the general fund. I think that's an area of need for the city, and made some hard decisions, and I think that went really well. I'm pretty happy with where that's at. You know, I think we're getting the general fund back into a position where we can be a little bit more aggressive with projects and trying to do a few more things and address some capital improvements that might have been delayed a little bit. You know, as far as addressing what the departments need, I think we're still doing a lot of things, doing improvements in parks, you know, getting the machinery that the departments need to ensure that they can do their jobs without interruption from poor machinery or poor equipment. You know, continuing to provide a high-level service with, you know, trying to roll back or bring back the levy as much as possible. You know, we've got two huge projects going on. This budget includes funding the bridge, which there won't be a single bond pulled for the bridge. We're using $1 million worth of federal funds that was received through the city bridge program from the DOT, and then using another 1.3 million for local option sales tax. So there won't be any increase in debt for the city with that project, and we're continuing to address the water plant, which is coming out of this budget also. We've got improvements in infrastructure on street and water mains, we're valve replacement, hydrant replacement. So we're still, you know, while holding back taxes, we're still addressing a lot of needs. So I think it came out really well. I think, you know, we're doing huge equipment purchases. We've got a maintainer that's being purchased in this budget that's, what, $275,000. So it's not that I think we're still in a very good position. I know I tend to be a little bit negative about trying to hold in spending as much as possible, but I think we did that without taking any steps back.
Do we have any comments from the council? Do we have any written comments or objections on file, Gloria?
No, we don't.
Do we have any comments or objections from the general public in attendance this evening? There being no more comments or objections on the proposed fiscal year 2013-2014 budget, I will close the public hearing at 5:47. Under new business, we need a motion to approve the renewal of a Class C liquor license and outdoor service catering privilege and Sunday sales privilege for Family Table of Humboldt Limited, doing business as Miller's Landing.
Everything's in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a lease agreement with the Humboldt County Extension Council of the Iowa State Agricultural Extension District, the use of the former fire station building for youth activities. Mayor, maybe just explain that for a minute?
Yeah, the 4-H came to me, and I wish I would have put a little bit more in here, but the 4-H came to me and asked about the old fire station. You know, they were looking to try and do some indoor archery, which at first blush sounds like it should not be done, but it was explained to me that they're low power bows with backstops and everything like that. It is extremely safe. They take every measure to ensure the safety of everybody who participates in it. So they asked if the old fire station could be used for some of that archery, and you know, we went over there and walked it out, and by moving what few things are in there over to the side, they have more than enough room to do that indoors in the old fire station. They will provide the Iowa State Extension insurance will follow the youth archery over to the facility, so they have $1 million insurance policy. They also have life insurance policy that follows them, plus waivers. I think there's about every precaution you can think of is taken to protect everybody who assists and allowing those folks to provide those activities. So with this lease agreement, essentially, with talking with the city attorney, his comment was, well, why don't we do it as a lease agreement, spell out everything in that lease agreement, and say that their use of the facility is subject to contacting the city clerk and arranging you're getting thrown in on this, contacting the city clerk to arrange the time to use the facility, and requiring them to carry the insurance and everything else and have the waivers. So that's the way that it was drafted, and if the council's supportive of that, then I think they want to get started about as soon as possible if it goes forward.
What's the lease for?
It's for a year, but it can be broken at any time.
Well, how much is the lease?
0.
Don't we have to, I mean, is it a $1 minimum or some stupid thing to make it legal?
Yeah, it's essentially,
pretty much 0.
It's $1.
Yeah.
So that would be the only.
Do we heat the garage now? Does
Yeah.
it stay at it? So that's not a problem.
It's all tied together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, I wouldn't say you want to hang out in there, but it's warm enough that the water lines don't pop,
Right.
so.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under resolutions, made a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-14. A resolution approving fiscal year 2013-2014 budget for the city of Humboldt, Iowa.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Baumgarten.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Hader.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-15. A resolution establishing the annual salaries for appointed officials and estimated annual salary for hourly city employees for the fiscal year 2013-14 with payments of such to occur over 26 pay periods commencing July 1st, 2013.
This wage resolution contains a 2% cost of living increase for city employees. It contains the 5% increase approved by the council for myself, and the police contract increase through the collective bargaining agreement of 1.5% to bring them back in line with what the city employees were paid prior to the cost of living increase freeze. So while there is a disparity there, it's actually bringing the police officers back in line with what city employees are received as increases.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater.
Aye.
Baumgarten.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Hader.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-16. A resolution approving pay estimate number 8 from Industrial Process Technology Incorporated, Fargo, North Dakota, in the amount of $200,476.06 for the 2012 Humboldt Water Treatment Plant Improvement Project.
The well side is still down on the plants. The contractors are working to complete as much of the work on the well side as possible before they need to move to the spring side. It's a little bit like whack-a-mole when they're working over there, because you can only take one part down at any one given point, and once you take this pipe down, then you gotta do everything you can on that run of the process before you bring that back up and then move over to the other area. And with the two side-by-side plants that exist in the water treatment facility there, while they're sandblasting, they're replacing the filters, they're replacing all the backwash equipment that cleans all the lime that comes into the filters. They're doing just as much work as they can to get that taken care of while the sandblasting and painting's going on in the clarifiers on the well side. Those are hopefully going to be back online, and the well side will be back online, while not completed, will be close to being completed and ready to operate. I hate to give a date, but I think they're hoping by early April. It could be the end of April. The key is just to get it done before water usage increases, because right now they're on 14 to 16-hour run times. That allows only for 8 hours more of run time before we run out of water capacity. And so there's only so much water they can put through the spring side. The well side has a much higher capacity. So getting over to that well side, getting that well side operational is absolutely critical before summer comes around, even early spring. So we're working to get there, and the only concerns right now as far as some of the progress there is just wait times on getting some of the equipment. Some of it's very, very intricate equipment that there's one company in the world that makes, and sometimes you have to wait forever for it to get here. Some of the controls tend to be that way, and they've run into some difficulties getting some of the controls in. So if that's the case, they'll keep it together as much as they can as it is right now until those controls get in, and then try and swap those out as soon as they come. But all in all, the contractor's doing a very good job with working with People Service to ensure the no interruptions, which is how we like it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Baumgarten.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Hader.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-17. A resolution approving contract change order number 2 with Wunsch Construction Incorporated of Green, Iowa, for the 2012 Eagle Ridge Addition project for a net addition of the contract of $86,692.
This change order will add a run of water main under Maple Lane, which I don't know if you guys can see up here, but it's, Maple Lane's the furthest east northwest road. There's already sanitary sewer under that road that has been, that's been installed with the first phase. With the first auction going as well as it has, it seems as though that interest in the second auction is also very high, which leads me to believe that we're gonna be developing Maple Lane much sooner than we thought we would. The cost for developing that area is much lower than it will be for the next phase because there's just less pavement. The sanitary sewer is already there. But there will be a delay in bringing that online when we have to go to bid and get another underground contractor in. The only underground work that's left in that area is the water main. So, trying to figure out a way to potentially get this water main in so that we're able to bring those 10 lots online as quickly as possible to continue the development in that area. Derek and I got to talking about the fact that we've actually done some improvements to the existing water infrastructure in that area down near Elmhurst, where it makes the bend to go north-south. We made improvements in that area, and the amount of water sales that will exist from the Eagle Ridge area over the next 15 years will be, 15, actually, most of these water mains will probably be there for close to 100 years, but the water sales in those areas will easily pay back whatever cost of putting in this water main. The rest of the costs for the infrastructure of the Eagle Ridge has been borne by tax increment financing from the properties themselves. So I think it's an easy justification to say that some of the water funds could be used to pay for that portion. And there also is some money left over in the TIF account to pay for part of this. So if I was to take a shot at it, I'd say the remaining balance is probably going to be about $50,000 that would come out of the water fund, and that amount would, like I said, would easily be covered by water sales. So with that in mind, I think it would help us to facilitate moving forward much quicker with that section.
Move it approved.
Second. Is this in line, Derek, with Aaron, with the water price that once bid for the existing water lines, for the lines that are already put in? Is this per foot
Correct.
consistent with what he bid to win the job?
It is. They've agreed to hold their 2012 bid price to do this work in 13. So I think they're giving, definitely giving the city a very good deal on adding this additional work. So they're holding their contract prices to do this additional work now a year later.
Gotcha.
I think that was a very aggressive bid.
It was a very aggressive original bid, so I think it's, I think we've got a good price.
And I think
Okay.
one other thing is the next item to be considered is actually the infrastructure improvements, which is valves and hydrants that we budgeted in the last budget. So I think that, they're gonna stay in Humboldt with this work, and it might lead to even more competitive bids from Wunsch by keeping them in town. So, and they've been a fantastic contractor to work with, so I think that's good news for the city. So.
There's a first and a second. No other questions? Roll call vote.
Rusher?
Aye.
Hader? Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Baumgarten?
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-18. A resolution appointing the final specifications for the 2013 infrastructure improvement project and directing the city clerk to publish a notice of public hearing and letting set 5:30 p.m. Monday, April 1st, 2013 as the time and date for a public hearing to review bids received.
I think Derek probably can show over the project a little better.
So with this project, we are looking to do some improvements to the distribution system to replace some valves that aren't functioning, some hydrants that are set too low to be difficult for the fire department to use. This is, in a nutshell, system maintenance, taking care of some things that aren't functioning correctly. So a couple of the big ones that we're doing is the two existing valves on the 12-inch main at the south tower. They will not close completely. They're 60-plus years old. So we have I think right now, Peoples is closing 4 or 5 individual valves to get control. So while they have that tower down and drained to do the piping as part of the water tower project, we're gonna add 2 new valves, and get control up there so we can close 2 valves, also add a hydrant up there so we can close 2 valves, open hydrant, and we have control and the ability to drain the tank, all in one location. Another spot where we're replacing some valves is the 8-inch river crossing just north of the existing bridge. Those valves also don't close, so we're closing a combination 3, 4, 5 valves to get control of that main.